Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, a show dedicated to helping you expand your capacity, take your life in every area to an entirely new level, and creating a day and a life by design. Here's your host, Dan Hafner. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Run Your Day podcast. As always, your host, Dan Hafner here, founder of RunWage and creator of the Run Your Day podcast. As always, today's topic is this: there's an end to everything. Appreciate you guys joining. Enjoy today's episode. All right, so today I'm sitting here, and my wife has graduated from her residency. Yes, never thought this day would come. So really, this isn't even about an end for me. This is about an end for her and for us. It's kind of a weird feeling. So for any of you that don't know, my wife, she does work as a medical resident inside of a pediatric specialty, I guess is what you would call it. And we've been living in Charleston, West Virginia for the past 3 years, where she got this residency. I've really made it no secret on this show in previous episodes that I've never really been that fond of this area. I used to have a lot of storylines around it about why I didn't want to live here, about why it was a terrible place to be, and why it was the cause of a lot of problems in my life and all kinds of other stupid shit. And I've moved past a lot of that. But I just remember sitting here, even a year ago thinking man, all we have is 1 year left. 1 year left here, and then we can go somewhere. And at the time we didn't know. Right now we know we're going to Hershey, PA. We're moving here in a couple weeks. So some of the episodes for the next few weeks might be here and there, might miss days because I have way too much shit going on right now. But I digress. So the principle I just kind of wanted to talk with you guys about today is this concept of there's an end to everything, right? No matter if you're going through good stuff in your life or hard stuff in your life or difficult stuff or easy stuff or just numb stuff or the loss of somebody dying or maybe even successful things, right? So this is very, very important to keep in mind, because I think a lot of us operate under this principle that, the way things are, the status quo will always be that way. And we get lulled into this false sense of security that things are always going to be the way they are as of right now. But if you look at your life and how it operates today as it compared to last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you think, wow, my habits, my patterns, my daily routine, they're all completely different, maybe radically different, maybe in a good way or a bad way. So the status quo never is in place for long, long periods of time. And if it is, then that's a numb existence, right? If your life looks exactly the same as it did 10 years ago, you got to change some shit. You really, really have to take a hard look in the mirror. And I'm not even well equipped to coach you on that. That's a whole different conversation. But I'm sitting here thinking about this concept of the status quo today. And there's just so many deep revelations and lessons I'm thinking about. It was really difficult for me to come up with a title for this episode and to really even figure out what I wanted to truly talk about. What out of all the things I could talk about, what is the one thing I wanted to hone in on? And it's just simply that. It's that, there's always an end. There's and it comes about during you think it might be in this far off time, but it always comes sooner than you think. And it always happens on an actual day and time. You think you might be, headed for divorce in a relationship or something, right? You think, oh, it won't ever happen. It'll just kind of always be this way. But then there's literally a date and a time where those papers get signed and legally you're divorced. And then it's reality. Right? It's crazy to think that, and I used to operate in this place a lot, once I have this level of money, like I'll be happy. Or once I have this thing in my life, maybe material or immaterial, like I'll be able to do this other thing I want to do. And it's just it's a purgatory to live in. It's a constant purgatory. And once I've started to realize that, I've started to put systems in my life that remind me that everything's constantly changing and that there is an end date to things. There's always an end date to a project you do at a job or a business, right? There's an end goal in mind. Things just don't go on the same way forever. And once again, if they do, it's just numb. It's not even worth pursuing at that point. So I hope what you're getting from this is that, no matter what's going on for you, as you take a step back and look at your life, no matter what's going on, whether it's good, bad, numb, in between, whatever it might be, like taking a step back and appreciating that whatever that thing is, it won't last forever. This is especially hard to attack when it comes to good things. Like when you sit back and you're like, man, like I really have a good job that's paying me well, and I like what I do, and I like who I work with, and man, it's a good thing. But there will be a day, even if it's 50 years from now, 30 years from now, 20 years from now, 10 years from now, where you're not working at that job anymore. So if your identity and your happiness is solely reliant on that job, there will be a day when that job is no longer a thing in your life. Then what do you do? Like, then what? I think we as people, we really don't ask this question, and then what, enough. I know I don't. Like, oh, and then what? Well, I don't know, right? I used to, and this is something that I go through, is like, okay, I'm pursuing this thing with this end date, this end goal in mind, but then what? I never used to ask myself that question. I just pursued something like, okay, this is what I want, and I'm just going to work my ass off to get it. But the and then what question really kind of ties back to the why. Like, why are you doing this job? Why are you doing this thing in your life you're doing? Right? Like, there will be a day when I no longer do this podcast, or when I completely retire it and just let it be out there in the wind for anyone to listen to at any time. But right now, it's something that I want to do, and something that I know helps people. It might help you. It might help you as you listen to all these episodes to get more insight and food for thought in your own life. At least I hope it does. So, taking a step back today and appreciating that no matter what you're going through, there is an expiration date. And if it's bad, just know that if you hang in there and you keep taking the action to make things better, that there will be an end date to the shitty thing that's happening to you. But if something's good, realizing that, hey, I better be grateful for what I have right now, because there is an end date and an expiration date to this good thing happening in my life as well. And just sitting in this pocket of appreciation, no matter what the situation is it's a beautiful place to be. It's a very, very beautiful, beautiful place to be. So that's my challenge for you today. Sit back and think about a good thing and a bad thing going on in your life, and realize that if you hang in there, the bad thing will get better as long as you're taking action to fix it. And what's a good thing in your life that you need to be more appreciative and grateful for right now? So that's it. That's it, my friends. Going to keep coming to you here. I know the audience is definitely growing. I see more and more of you out there. I like that the show's growing again. It's really getting me excited. So you guys can join the Run Your Day Facebook group on Facebook. Just search Run Your Day. There should be a group right there. You can join that and engage with the show and get some more value out of the platform here. So that's it, my friends. As always, make it a great rest of your day. Dan Hafner signing off. We'll talk to you next time. Hey, have you ever thought about joining a virtual run challenge? As COVID-19 continues to upend our lives and change our life routines, finding fresh ways to challenge yourself physically can be difficult. I know I'm having trouble with that. It can also be pretty hard to connect with others and find accountability partners for the purpose of fitness as well. That's why we created RunWage Virtual Challenges. RunWage Challenges are a new and exciting way to stay physically active and maintain social distancing. Every challenge takes place 100% online, and you can compete against and engage with runners from all over the world. Best of all, they are the only virtual challenges out there which actually reward participants with real cash. That means you have no excuse for staying inactive during this pandemic. So if you've been looking for a fresh and interesting way to stay active and get your miles in, go to runwageapp.com/virtual challenges to join me and the diverse community of runners already competing. That's runwageapp.com/virtual challenges. Can't wait to see you there.